Alright, folks. I haven't done a lot of streaming the past couple of days because I've been trying to figure out how I want to change this game so it can play better. And that took a lot of basically just silent thinking and drawing around and sketching around some things. And I'm going to show you kind of what I've changed and why I've changed it. So, this is the uh, this is the playfield as it currently exists that I'm not fully happy with. Yes, it flows all right, but there's definitely some problems with it. Specifically, this spinner, it's really cool. I love it, but it slams right into the wall back here, and it doesn't do anything useful. It comes out in front of this rubber that's supposed to be a slingshot. I couldn't get the slingshot in because of sizing problems and whatnot. But when I shot in and it just clunked on the metal, it didn't feel good. Uh, I feel as though there should be something else going on other than boom, right? That was kind of lame. And the right orbit, if you shot slow, it worked well. It kind of shot around and looped right back down. But if you shot really fast, and these flippers can, it's powerful enough to shoot really strong, it would ricochet off of the post back here, and it would just kind of clunk, 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 and then dribble down in front. Which again, if this is a slingshot that you need to shoot, that's fine, but that's not satisfying to shoot, and I didn't like it. Next, this shot under here, this target, you just can't hit. If you like aim perfectly, you can get it, but it's maybe like an inch and a quarter space, and I didn't realize this when I designed it. It was that was a mistake on my part, but it is such a tight window that I was able to hit it maybe once or twice. A buddy of mine who tried it maybe hit it once or twice. It's way too tight for something that's going to be like the main feature of the playfield. So that's no good also. Um, so really that's what's causing this redesign. Also, if you're to shoot with the right flipper into the spinner, it works great. But if you don't use the slingshot in time, constantly I was shooting up. It was bouncing just right for it to go straight down the middle. Like just, and this was consistent from the right flipper through the spinner. Yes, if the slingshot was there and you shot it, yeah, great. It wouldn't happen. But assuming people are going to shoot it all the time is not so great. So taking that in mind, like everything else, like this right ramp is fine. This right and this middle orbity type thing, I love. Um, the loop around back ramp, like if I throw the ball around, it works great. This ramp worked fine. So that was all right. But this section here was just a problem. So this is the redesign I decided to do. Oops, that's not the redesign. That's making it big. This is the redesign I decided to do. So now what I've done is I've taken this spinner or this ramp and I pushed it much further up. If you look at this older design, you can see they're basically right along the same level. Now, this is maybe 2 inches higher, 2.5 inches higher, maybe 3 inches higher, probably 3 inches higher to be honest. Which means there's no rubber over here anymore. Instead, you have an actual flipper. So if I make this not invisible, you have an actual flipper over here. And remember, this stuff is all transparent. Like you can see through here perfectly fine. And it's also going to be modified a little bit to make it even more visible too. I just haven't done all that yet. So there's a flipper over here that that you can use to shoot that ramp. Let's go back to this view. So you can use this flipper to shoot up this ramp. And also, if you go to shoot the left orbit, but you don't make it up and around for whatever reason, and the ball dribbles back down, you'll now have a shot. Previously on this other layout, if you don't make it up and around and it dribbles back down, it's just coming kind of to the slingshot flipper, which that's fine. But now there's a flipper here, so you can shoot. Second, the big reason why I wanted to make this change was this the spinner shot. I pulled the spinner shot down about 1.5 inches. So you can kind of see what I marked on here. So the spinners are way in the back on this design, and I made little marks right here where I thought I wanted to put the flipper. You can see it's a good 1.5 inches closer. So that's what I did here. These are about 1.5 inches closer. I was able to straighten the spinner out so it's not nearly as big of an angle now that this is more of a straight shot. And this, now instead of clunking on a wall, it loops through down here to this flipper. So from both the lower left and lower right, you can shoot in and make it to that flipper. This left orbit is still the same. I adjusted the belly of this curve a little bit. And so now if you shoot right in, like a clean shot in, you're going to come up and around. Or if you ricochet and skip off of this metal, it'll send you right up and around too. So this is not compromised because I really liked how this worked. The next thing you'll see is this extra little ramp piece, which this is what I'm still in the process of figuring out and working out how it's going to work. But in pushing this ramp up, you can see this screw right here. That's the original spot where this ramp kind of was. That's this screw right here is this screw right here. Okay. So you can see how much further up the ramp is. And because the ramp is that much further up, now the orbit is much further up and it's much stronger to shoot. When it was down low, it wasn't as strong, but now that it's further up, it'll be not twice as strong, but a good 20 to 30% stronger because of where it is. So that said, and the right orbit I already knew was very strong, and you can watch the video. It was quite strong. Now, this orbit is going to do a full orbit all the way around, and this right orbit is going to do a full orbit all the way around, and they're going to both lift up onto a little ramp piece. If I undo this, this is still a work in progress. I really don't know if it's going to be part of this vacuum form or if it's going to be a little lower. It might work out to be a little lower, but you can see this ramp comes up and around, and if I pan a little bit, it'll come back down this way and vice versa. This is going to come up, around, and down. So the game will now have a full orbit, but it won't have your it won't have your traditional orbit of just all on the street level of the playfield. It'll kind of lift up and go back down, lift up and go back down. I want to figure out a way so you can see the ball lift up. I'm not quite sure how that's going to happen. Because if originally I wanted this to lift all the way up kind of above this ramp and then back down, but some tests I did Sunday night, it's not powerful enough to get up and around that high. So it still has to be only like about an 1.25 inches or so up off the ground, so it's kind of hidden in the back, unfortunately. But it'll still lift up and come back down. And if I can do something maybe add a mirror kind of reflecting down and some lights so you can see the ball kind of go up and around back there, that could be kind of neat. But yes, those are the major changes I did. The other major change I did was I changed this shot. So now this shot and these targets down here. So if you look at this version of the playfield, this target and these posts kind of stick way out, which is a problem. Now this target and these posts are much further in, and it has a much cleaner shot to this thing. And to show that, if I show this sketch, so this sketch is 2.25 inches wide, and this is 2.25 inches wide. So you got a very clean shot from this lower flipper. Right from this lower flipper, you have 2.25 inches to get the thing way in there. So that's essentially 2 ball widths all the way up. Same with this flipper all the way up to this ramp. You got 2 ball widths worth of space for the ball to kind of spread out and go up and around. So that should make those shots doable. And this is still somewhat hidden behind the ramps here. If I unhide this. This is still somewhat hidden behind this ramp. But with art on the playfield and this flipper basically being aimed right towards that ramp, you shouldn't have a problem. So yeah, those are all the changes I've been playing around with, and I've been trying to figure out like how I want it to do. And I think this will satisfy me once I get these few things working. For Pentastic, I'm going to have this layout done. It might not be perfect yet. Like some of these curves and arcs might not be exactly what they need to be, but it'll be close enough to play. Maybe it will be perfect. I don't know. Yeah, so this week I'm going to do a stream figuring out this ramp here because this is the only other ramp that I really kind of need to figure out like how it's going to be composed. And it's easy to model the thing, but I can model it so it's not buildable. So I need to make sure I model it so it's buildable, but at the same time, I need to make sure I model it so it's smooth because the transition from this metal ramp to this plastic ramp to this metal ramp, if there's any bumps or whatever, it's going to be kind of wonky. And the order of operations to put everything together or take something apart is also important. So that's going to be the discovery phase and creation phase this week on that section, and then it's just kind of the same old same old. Make these couple rails that I'm missing and just kind of button up a few things, fix the plastics around here to take into consideration the flipper and the new mounting point, which is actually not over there, so that I need to create a new mounting point over here with the new posts and things. So, anyways, there's the update. I will see you all when I stream. Bye.